Hello, and welcome again to week one. I noticed that there were some questions regarding the practice assignment, which is the core assignment which we build on every week in this course. As you develop a curricular unit or workshop for an educational setting. And some of you are currently in an educational setting, so you're very familiar with who your audience is and your content goals, standards, whatever it might be. But for those of you that are not in an educational setting, which about usually 50% or so of folks are, then this is where you envision your dream setting and an audience that you'd like to work for. Obviously, you're in a master's program for a reason, so it may be to further and refine and advance your current situation, or it may be to launch you into a new one. So what I'd like to do is have you start this by looking at the overview for the week, and you'll see that in the overview for the week, it's going to give you the introduction, the weekly objectives, and then the weekly assignments. Prior to that, I recommend starting with looking at actually go ahead and start with the overview of the weekly assignments. But before you actually jump into the assignments, I recommend going to the lecture, which will give you background on what some of the key ideas and issues are for the reading. So you really know where to focus the reading on. Because our textbook is really focused on pre-K-12, you'll notice that I'm going to supplement a lot with adult learning and with some early childhood, because the text doesn't really give examples there. However, I do think the text does a wonderful job of making this conversation transferable to any audience. So as you're reading through the text, do keep in mind your own setting and your own audience and be doing that transformation of, well, how does this apply to my practice? Clicking on the curriculum one page, looking at the key readings prior to jumping in. Also for practice support, I just added this, and that is as you look at developing your own audience background in your Explore paper, where you'll be looking at really who are my students, who are they as individuals, what can I learn about my learners in terms of their cultural and linguistic diversity, and what exceptionalities might my learners have, and thinking about it in terms of growing up in a digital era. You're looking at what are their unique needs, their strengths, and their motivation. So you'll use this paper as you develop your practice for the first week, which is learner profile and content goals. You'll notice that you'll take that learner profile that you developed in your Explore paper, and really you're going to be looking at building a graphic organizer of their unique needs, motivations, and strengths. You again will be developing curricular content topic of your choice and looking at 1 to 3 standards or goals to help you develop that course or workshop in your professional area. Next, after you've done the reading and on 21st century skills and habits of mind, you'll be thinking, well, how do these apply to this specific topic and audience? And then synthesizing those in at the template that's provided. So again, you're taking your essay and literally in bullets identifying the key aspects of who your learner is. I provided an example here, so you will design your own topic and title. What I chose was one that's more focused on the adult learner. It's in a topic, it's actually a course on building built environments and health disparities. And the standards that are listed here are actually provided by the county standards for public health. And I identified 2 that really are the focus of this unit. And when I say the focus of this unit, that this unit will provide enough information, knowledge, skills, and practice to show a level of proficiency that the students have had the opportunity to meet these standards. And we'll be talking more about that as we go through and in the reading. So there were 3 standards that were chosen. Again, I'm asking you to choose 1, 2, 3. So if there's one core standard or one core professional goal that you've identified that aligns, that you would be required to meet in this educational setting, again, either real or envisioned. So if you're an envisioned one, you may need to do a little more research on what are those content standards or professional goals that you would be required to meet in that educational setting. In addition to that, there are 21st century skills and habits of mind that really support that topic and those goals. And so identifying which ones they are for this one, the learning and innovation skills, and it may not be all 4 that are listed there, but in this case, it is all 4, and the same with the life and career skills. And again, the habits of mind, which habits of mind really help support. You'll notice there's a lot of continuity and integration between these, and that's what we're looking for. And then lastly, just a quick rationale on why are you intentionally designing and putting together these specific standards or goals, 21st century skills and habits of mind, and what is it that you hope your learners will walk away with. So this is really an introduction to help explain our thinking behind our intentional design. You will post your practice assignment under the assignment file. You'll also notice that you will have additional resources. For example, the template is there for you to use, the example that I just showed, the rubric, and the elements and criteria that were provided for you in the syllabus. Taking a quick look at the practice rubric, you'll notice that this is directly aligned to our program outcome goal number 1, which is to really explore and translate learning theory, curricular design, 21st century skills into instructional practices and decisions, and address the challenges and opportunities of today and tomorrow. Really, we're talking about our students. This is a program assessment. You will actually be graded along demonstrating the subject knowledge. So that's based on the criteria that is outlined. This one is particular, looking at, again, the topic, the standards, and who your learners are, as well as why and you made the decisions that you made. So really supporting those instructional decisions, and that there's organization and, of course, clear writing. So that's the rubric that will be used for every for every practice each week. And clearly the pedagogical decision making, the practices, and the subject the knowledge will change week to week, but that'll give you the big idea. And again, really what we're working for is how do we really meet that big idea around curriculum design as outlined in our Program 1 outcome. So the last thing I'll say is this is practice, which means practice, practice, practice. It's a skill. It's not expected to be perfect the first time out. You will be given feedback on this as we go along. And the last assignment in the course, the final, will be incorporating and adjusting, extending, and refining based on that feedback from myself. Also, there'll be times next week we'll be getting feedback from peers, and I've opened that week up so you'll have a chance to kind of look ahead for those that want to know where we're headed. And you'll be incorporating, as I said, that the various feedbacks in your own development into that final version for the final in this class. So have a great week. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. In regards to the practice, you can post it on our Q&A if it's something that could benefit everyone, or if it's a very individualized question, please email me personally. Have a great rest of the week.